Okay, the final step here is to, now that all the shear webs are glued into position, is to now join the two halves of the the skins together. So in order to do that, I need to make up an adhesive. I'm not going to use the Axon H9940 adhesive. I'm just going to use a mix of epoxy and microfibers, or cotton flocks as some people call it, microfibers, which is a structural filler, and cabasol, or also referred to as fumed silica. This is a thickening agent, and this is a bulking filler, and together they make a really nice adhesive, which is great for bonding your two halves of your skin, or your two skins together. Alright, in order to do that, I don't use any weight and measures. I've been doing this for a long time, and I kind of have a feel for it. What I'm trying to do is add the microfibers into the resin in sufficient quantity that it still remains very runny and opaque in color as these fibers start to fill the resin. So I just start by adding small amounts, stirring, and then checking the viscosity. That is just at the point of being enough. It's stopping, it's sort of almost, it's slowing down, but it's still quite runny, and that's sufficient of the fibers. The fibers are the structural part of the adhesive, and I'm going to add some thickening agent to this to thicken it into a Vaseline type consistency, or petroleum jelly type consistency thickness, so that when I pipe it on around the mold and onto the control surfaces, it doesn't slump and run away. And also you can see now, by thickening it a little bit, and I didn't add a hang of a lot, probably maybe 1% or so by weight, it's staying relatively thick and on the stick, and it does slump a little bit, so I'll just put a little bit more in. As I say, it's done by eye. For me, I don't use weight and measure, so I actually can't tell you exactly what the proportions are, but it's probably more like sort of about 10 to 15% of that, and about 1 to 3% of this by weight, if you were doing it by weight. But I've got a nice adhesive type mix. It will slump a little bit, but very slowly, which is perfect for what I'm looking for, because when I put the glue over here, I need it to sort of stay there and run down and make a nice adhesive joint over there. So I've got my little Ziploc bag in a cup with the actual Ziploc folded back, so I don't accidentally get a whole lot of resin on the Ziploc and prevent it from sealing nicely. Okay, we just scrape out everything into the bag. Now, I haven't used any micro balloons in this. This is just microfiber and fumed silica, or cabasol addition. So we get that into the bag, and then we'll seal up the bag. Right, so these guys can move away here. Get that out of the way. Fold my little Ziploc back again. Made a little bit of a mess here, so I just need to change gloves quickly. Right, new glove on. Right, now we just snip off the corner. Again, I don't want too big a hole, I want a relatively small hole so I can control the bead. Okay, and just turn the bag up a few times just to get some pressure on. Right, and let me start over here, and I'm just going to run a bead all the way along this joint line. Oh, I have done a test fit, by the way, and the two halves do join together nicely. I've made sure that they close nicely. This bead I'm putting right on the perimeter and letting it slump down a little bit into the inside. Just this there. Right, I'm not going to put it all the way along the leading edge just yet. Put a nice bead along here. And a nice bead all the way along here. And up here now. On this vertical section, I'm just going to be sure to run it on top of the edge so that it will run down and make a nice glue joint across this edge. And this is the reason for the microfibers, is that I've got structure in this adhesive. Okay, so I've got it all the way around there and there. Now we're just going to run it on top of this shear web. And all the way along the top of this shear web. And this one. And this guy. Making sure it goes along the top of the shear webs. And of course all the way along the top of this guy. And then all the way around the leading edge, also on top of the edge. Right, now I need to run a bead all the way around here. I don't think I'm going to have enough adhesive. I might have to mix up another batch, but let's see how far I get. So starting on the corner here, again also all the way around on the top of the edge. Definitely need a bit more mix. Okay, I'm just going to mix a little bit more resin. I'll use the same cup as I used earlier. Okay, 15 grams of resin. Actually 16.6, 16.6 times 1.2, which is my 20% mix ratio, is a total of 20 grams. Add 20 grams in. Right, so a total of 20 grams extra. I mixed up 38 grams the first time around and 20 grams this time. Right, so we put in a little bit of microfibers, cotton flocks. Okay, I just want that almost not runny anymore. Consistency, that'll be enough fibers in there. Fraction more. That's nice, and then I can put some Cabasol in just to thicken it. Fumed silica, you don't need a lot of Cabasol, it's very, very quick reacting. There we go, nice mix. I'll use the same bag, just open up here. Fold this back in. Add my mix into the bag. It's a little bit messy, but it's only a little bit that I need. Zip up the bag. And we carry on. Right, so we can just carry on piping this all the way around. And here we go. So I have test fitted this, so I know it does go together. So no surprises there. Right. So we just turn this upside down and we basically get the two halves to match up. Press down. Now I also have some alignment pins which I'm going to push in here. There's 4 positions where these alignment pins go through and align the two halves of the mold perfectly. So I don't have bumps or anything on my fuselage. I just have these alignment pins, which makes it much easier for working on the mold and trimming and what have you. So I'm just going to drop bolts through and then I will bolt it all up. I'm sure you don't have to watch this whole process. And basically the next video will be me opening this mold So wish me luck, hope it all goes well, and it all glues nicely, and together we'll share in the success or not of this elevator. See you in the next video.